Joe likes Scorsese, and Raanan is Jewy. It's Joe and Raanan Talk Movies.
I don't know this movie. I forget. I saw it. I haven't slept. Action.
Cut. We're back. We're here. We're talking the Holdovers.
And other stuff. We got to say others because no one saw the fucking Holdovers.
Saw it. It's big. It's a big movie. People saw it.
What's the box office?
We do a movie podcast. I'm like, let's do whatever, Deer Hunter. You're like, no one's seen it. You're like, always no one's seen it.
No, Deer Hunter they have seen.
Or whatever. It's a movie podcast. Holdovers is big.
What a terrible comparison. The Deer Hunter, which won Best Picture in 1978 or whatever.
I'll tell you this, you'll get
it might someday, not 35 years ago.
It'll get nominated for Best Picture.
It's going to be nominated. The fucking black lady who sucks is going to be nominated. God.
When I was watching that, I was like, Joe's going to hate this when the black lady comes on. I kept an open mind, and I have mixed feelings about it.
I know. Well, first you loved it, but then you were mixed, and then you said you loved it.
It stuck with me. It had a big resonating factor.
The stick.
Before... I'm trying, first of all, I gotta make sure not to laugh. I apologize. This is like my confession apology, but like I watched the clip of me when you were doing the thing about the kid and me laughing. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
No podcast in the history of podcasts addresses the previous podcast more than this. Someday we're gonna get it right. Every podcast we just go, sorry about last week.
Well, yeah, but I do like besides the fact that apparently we got the killers all wrong, even though I don't fully get that.
Oh yeah. What I wanna say, I wanna apologize.
Wait, real quickly, can I just plug a date real quick? Because what
are you doing? I'm right in the middle of a point. Do it early, but not in the middle of my fucking point.
Finish a point.
You didn't even finish your own first point.
I know. I got a plug. I'm desperate. Philadelphia Helium this Wednesday night. Please, tickets.
Wednesday?
That's why I need to plug it. It's desperate. There's no one there.
I love that you think everyone saw the Holdovers and everyone will just make plans for tomorrow. The whole reason we're doing this is for this plug.
I gotta stop laughing into the mic.
This plug. Do it.
Philadelphia Helium this Wednesday. Get tickets now. Stop this. Get tickets. I'm also at Grove 34 in Astoria the next day, Thursday, but that's probably already sold out. Raanan Comedy on Instagram. Go there. Get tickets.
Didn't you shoot your special already?
Yeah.
Why are you doing these one-nighters? It feels like you're warming up for a special. It's not another one, is there?
Working out new material.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm at Grove 34 a Friday. I just did the best Grove 34 of my life, by the way.
It's a great room.
Oh, you missed it. The one that Lex couldn't come to. It was fucking insane. It was so good. I'm doing it December 1st, this Friday.
Go see it.
This Friday.
Well, I guess they're not going to go to my show now.
They'll come to both. Go to Philly. Anyways, we blew it on the killer.
I don't know if we blew it. I don't know. Before we get to Holdovers, I don't know if we blew it. We thought it was ridiculous. It didn't make sense, and then we got a lot of.
I liked it.
We got the.
You heard me say I liked it.
Yeah, but either way, you didn't understand it. Like, but they were
I understood.
Don't try to get out of this.
But I liked it. He likes it.
I don't fully agree with what they're saying.
No, people were. Did you go to the comments? I told you not to look at the comments.
No, I didn't look at the comments. What?
People were commenting and they were breaking it down, and then they were saying they were like, just Raanan just totally missed the point. He's an idiot. I was chiming in. I was like, absolutely, he sucks.
How horrible are these comments? Well, I look at the comments in the first day. It's all nice. Like, Ron's hilarious. I'm so glad this podcast gets back.
It's day 2. They get you.
It gets bad.
Wow, they're just like
Does
the podcast.
Anti-Semitism coming day 2?
They're like, no, it's not anti-Semitism. It's anti-fat. It's anti-loud. It's anti-wheezing. That kind of stuff.
I'm only wheezing when I'm laughing, right?
Yes, I think so.
Nope.
But anyways,
I apologize for the laughing. I'll keep the mic down.
The comment, and this is what makes it such a great pod. The comments made some great points. They're like the whole point.
We thank the commenters.
You missed the whole point of the film. The point is, he's not doing anything he's saying. He's saying, I'm perfect, I'm great. He doesn't do it. He blows it.
We cannot rescind. We cannot renege. Ebert and Siskel.
Of course you can.
Ebert and Siskel will never like the next time. We're wrong.
No. They do, absolutely do.
They do
absolutely. That? Roger Ebert many, many times has done that.
The following week?
Not the following week.
Maybe like 20 years later.
And not from random fans being like, you suck, you idiot.
You can't bow down immediately.
No,
Ebert's like, I'm wrong, okay. You know, the Blue Velvet was great. I take it back. A lot of angry. We can't angry email our way into.
No, many, many people. And by the way, this is how society gets to move forward, is people admitting they were wrong. We were wrong about the killer. We were wrong about Hamas. These guys are aces. They love gays and women, and they're not terrorists.
No. Freedom fighters.
They're fantastic people. First-class citizens.
We take that
back. Love the Hamas.
But wait, so I still think the killer, I get that he fucks up everything. It's still not like that. First of all, he doesn't fuck up everything. He gets a lot right. It's not like that clear.
He's not fucking Don Knotts.
Well, I mean, that's what they're acting like. They acted like we were like fucking seriously critiquing Naked Gun. They acted like we were up there being like, but Leslie Nielsen would never be a police officer. This is ridiculous.
Now, this should be the show, us responding to the commenters. That's good.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, he fucks as a shot in the beginning. I get that. He does take stuff personal. That is true.
But yes, he's talking like a very efficient, amazing killer, yet he's fucking everything up, including the listening to the music.
Yeah. Well,
he's an idiot.
Yeah, I did watch
And he does take everything, he literally takes everything personally.
And I did watch a clip that was like, now that I like realized, it was like actually pretty funny. It's like him going into that one guy's house going, all right, be ready to fight. Everything's in your control. Then the guy like pushes him against a wall or something. There's like a line. Yeah.
It's funny. And someone else was like, it's a metaphor for David Fincher himself.
His precision and then him like fucking up his precision. How does he fuck up his precision?
Well, he sucks. Well, you don't like any of his movies.
I don't think he thinks of it like that. I don't think he's like, this is a metaphor for how I suck as a director. I don't fully I get that a little, but it's still like, I don't know. I don't fully get it. Like,
I don't know. My pants are dirty. I got a hole in them.
It's an allegory for how I shouldn't make movies. Like,
well, you should retire. I don't know, but The Killer rules. It's the best film of the year.
I hold on to it being silly, but
no, it's silly. And also, I was also wrong that what's her toes, the fucking 6'7", 78-year-old assassin pro. Yeah. She did have a gun, but he took it, which I forgot.
She had a gun, yeah, but she's still like a.
But you think she would see him coming and assassinate?
Was that
him?
Also the point that she's 85 years old? Like, but
that part I stand by, and that part I stand by. Also, that should be the film: is her and fucking Mad Dog Psycho Head going to the Florida together.
And I agree with and I don't agree with this whole like I brought up how it's corny to someone and like all the lines. You're like, well, that's kind of the point. It's supposed to be corny. I'm like, well, then how the fuck do I know what's bad or not?
Well, we've talked about this before. By the way, we have to write something and shoot something called Mad Dog Psycho Head. We're blowing it if we're not making Mad Dog Psycho Head.
We'll do it. We'll make that movie.
Someone make a poster for Mad Dog Psycho Head, please.
I just like, it's still like, he's still, I mean, yeah, maybe it's making fun of itself. Maybe I didn't get it. I don't know.
Well, I'll watch it again because it was very fun watch. I enjoyed watching it.
It was a fun watch, weirdly.
There you go. I saw Napoleon. We'll have to talk about Napoleon at some point. I just saw Napoleon.
Okay, Napoleon. I saw Anatomy of Fall.
What's that?
An amazing murder mystery, Swiss murder mystery.
Out now? New?
Out now, yeah. Really great.
That'll get the people to the podcast.
It's a murder mystery about this woman. Her husband falls from a roof and is dead, and she's a suspect for the murder. And it kind of goes into their marriage through the trial, and it's actually quite great.
That sounds nice. I like that's my kind of thing. I want to shove that right in my ass.
Yeah, you check it out. But let's talk the Holdovers.
Yeah, but first of all, I just want to say I also watched Punch Drunk Love. I'm watching all these movies. My baby is 3 days old. He sleeps all day.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
So, from a guy that's been there.
Hey, buddy, just enjoy it. They grow up fast, let me tell you.
I watched Punch Drunk Love when I was drunk and punchy myself, and that's a hell of a picture.
Yeah, it's great.
Fun film, and then I was like, I'm doing a double feature. I went to There Will Be Blood, which we've already talked about, but that movie is a fucking masterpiece. I think you were critical of it. It's P.T. Anderson's best movie, and it's one of the best movies of the century.
I used to obnoxiously say Punch Drunk Love was his best movie.
That's retarded.
Just to piss people off. Just to see the look on their face.
With respect to Boogie Nights, which we've talked about, obviously with Louis, fun movie, but There Will Be Blood is his best film, and I think Phantom Thread is his second best film. And Daniel Day-Lewis is the best actor ever, and he makes Tom Hanks look like a fucking idiot.
Tom Hanks. Well, all right. I mean, I think there's great stuff in it, but I also think, you know what I think about the movie. I feel like we've done 4 episodes of There Will Be Blood.
We did a half an episode, and we didn't have to say anything.
I tell you, I think Paul Dano's bad. I think it hurts the movie. I don't believe him as a charlatan. He's not charismatic. I don't, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
That's how I feel. I don't like Paul Dano.
I don't like him in all these. I'm not a huge fan of all these other movies. I think he's fantastic in that movie, but it's such a perfect comedy. It's such a perfect drama. These two guys that are just completely full of shit, who only they are the only ones that see the other ones full of shit.
Yeah, it's a great...
That is a great dichotomy. And the comedy of the scene of him asking to give a speech at the blessing of the well, and then him being like, you got it, I'll bring you right up. And then that beautiful scene of it's just slowly pushing on Dano as he thinks he's about to get his speech. Right. He never gives it to him. All hell breaks loose after that.
The two American cons, capitalism and religion.
Yes, it's just a spectacular movie. Spectacular film, and... I fucking love it. The cinematography, the music, the performance.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
obviously,
hilarious.
yeah, obviously it's a good movie. But let's talk The Holdovers.
All right, fine. Nobody saw The Holdovers.
People saw. Did you see The Holdovers?
I can't remember it, but I hated it. I liked it.
I
Whatever
love
you
The
thought.
Holdover. Well, this is Alexander Payne. It's my favorite director. It's one of yours, I believe.
Write in the comments how I feel about it.
What? I mean, this is an Alexander Payne movie, which is a big deal. He's my favorite director. You know what I mean? I love Alexander Payne.
He's not your favorite director.
He's up
Stop
there.
it. Yeah, so say up there.
Well, first
Why
of
not
all,
say up there?
I say I love Nashville. You go, fuck you. Sideways is really your favorite movie. Then I say he's my favorite director. You're like, fuck you.
A, I'm clearly right. We have hours and hours of evidence that you like Sideways more than you like Nashville.
But well, then
That we don't do an episode where we don't talk about Sideways. It's perfect. We're talking about it now.
All right. Well, I love. I
And Alexander Payne's not your favorite. He's
Who's
just
my
not.
favorite? Just tell me who my favorite is. I
I don't know. You like 2 movies of his.
What? That's
The
not
Descendant sucks.
No,
Just Make People Small sucks.
I love Citizen.
You love Clint Eastwood's your
Make
favorite
People
director.
Small. I love Citizen Ruth.
Clint
I love
Eastwood.
no, but he's up there too.
He stinks.
Sideways. I love Sideways. I love Election. I love About Schmidt. I love Citizen Ruth. I like parts of Descendants. With
Descendants stinks.
The parts without George Clooney are quite good.
What
And,
about the small people? What's that
the
called?
shrinking size,
Train spotting. What is it called?
little heads? Matt Damon, little head,
Little
Matt,
buddies. What is
little
it
Matt,
called?
It's called
Seriously.
Little Matt Damon's.
It's called
Downsizing.
Downsizing.
Well,
yes.
I never
Down syndrome.
understood. Like he made all these great. I mean, I know it's good for people to, like change, try different shit, but he's making all these perfect like human drama comedies, and then he's like, I'm gonna make a movie with a pun in the title. It's gonna be Charlie Kaufman-y, and it's like that's just not you. You know
Didn't
what
he
I mean?
apologize for it? Didn't he say, I fucked up?
Wow, did he? That's bad when you apologize.
I think somebody said that. Somebody was like, it was bad. I don't know. I don't,
Yeah, I
it's funny.
think
I don't
so.
know what Alexander Payne looks like. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Oh, really? He's like a very distinguished looking guy.
What about Spielberg? Don't you love Spielberg?
I love Spielberg, but not like Payne.
I guess. Maybe he's your favorite. I don't know. I take it back.
I mean, I feel like I am Paul Giamatti.
I feel like Payne made I've said it a million times, 2 absolute masterpieces, no argument accepted, Sideways, Election, perfect films, as good as it gets. Did he make that movie too?
No,
He didn't?
no.
Oh.
That's James L. Brooks.
No, but he made, what's it called? About Schmidt.
About Schmidt, which is also great.
I got to rewatch it. I
Schmidt's
enjoyed it. Is it as good as Election and...
It's tough. It's different. Like,
in Nebraska, the other one.
About Schmidt isn't as like funny as either of those movies, but the ending is more heartbreaking than either of those movies.
I didn't love Nebraska.
Nebraska wasn't great. It was
It's
good.
a slog.
It was good. It just didn't have the humor as much. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's get into Holdovers,
Well,
which he did not write.
He did not. Well, he co-wrote, right?
He did? I thought he didn't write it. No,
Are we
he
even
didn't write
movie
it.
buffs? Oh no, I guess he didn't.
He didn't write it.
He didn't write it all.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he did
Never
not
mind,
write
I
it.
hated
It
it.
has director and then written by underneath
Well,
it.
first of all, the minute I start watching
We
it,
got a verdict on that one. I think he didn't write it.
I mean, I know another guy wrote it, but I thought he threw his name in at the end.
I don't know.
No,
Lex is looking it up. Here we go. Drum roll.
drum roll.
What's funny about it is all the people listening to the podcast, they like already probably know. They can just look it up.
Or they don't know what this movie is.
No, they never heard of it.
Writer David Hemmingson.
Sole
right.
credit.
All right.
No credit.
Fine, and that's true for Nebraska too. Someone else wrote that. Well, I'll just say right away, and this is where we diverge. Just right away, movie opens. I'm watching it with who am I watching it with? Some comedian
This
from.
is compelling. I watched it with Matt Wayne, who I wish I had a movie podcast with right now. We had a great conversation about
I'm
it.
like Lawrence Tierney and Reservoir Dogs. Toby
Toby Wong. Fucking Charlie Chan.
Who did I watch? What was it? Dallas.
Is it The Paw? The Hoof. Goodfellas is the best movie. Let's just talk Goodfellas.
The minute it starts, I start laughing. I'm dying laughing. In the
I
beginning.
didn't fucking laugh a single time.
Well, this
no
is where,
laugh.
I mean, there's no way to
I was like
argue
this.
There's no way to argue that.
Well, this is us with fucking, what's it called? With that movie that kicked ass, that horror movie with the thing. Talk to me.
Talk to me,
to
yeah.
us or whatever.
Talk
Talk to me. Talk to the hand. That's what I
Talk
kept
to the
calling it.
hand. Slap
we
the
went
hand.
and saw Talk to the Hand together.
Demon hand.
The whole time I'm watching going, this movie rules. I fucking love it. Great horror movie. I watched it a second time. I think it kicks ass. Talk to me. We should have done an episode on it. It fucking is
Movie
great and
sucks.
fun.
Doesn't make sense.
And then as soon as it's over, you were like, I don't know, they just weren't acting surprised enough that this go. Like you just never bought into that it's a ghost story.
Yeah, I never bought into like why they would keep on because it's a
But it's so
ridiculous thing.
but you went to it's a horror movie.
Yeah, but Just listen to the plot. They play around with a hand and possess themselves, and then something goes wrong. Like, you know the going wrong part right away. It doesn't make sense why they're playing with this fucking hand and bringing out demons.
Well, that's any horror movie.
No.
Oh, they rent a house. Well, you know something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, but renting a house that you know is like full of cannibals or something. It's like that. It's like renting a house is not. They are playing with a thing.
It's an allegory. It's a very good allegory. And every time you argue it, I'm like, that's exactly drugs. You're like, why would someone do something if you know it's scary and dangerous?
They don't show the euphoria. They don't show the euphoria.
They do show the euphoria.
No, they don't. They just talk about it one time.
The film?
They don't show the euphoria. He's just holding the hand. They're just holding the hand, and then there's and then it's terrifying, and they keep on doing something terrifying.
They show it by afterwards. They're like, that was crazy. That was great. Let me do it again.
But you don't feel the euphoria. I
I
don't
don't feel
I'm terrified.
like I want to be friends anymore. Anyways, we're talking about The Holdovers. Have you heard of this film, folks?
So the minute I watch,
funny.
I'm dying laughing. Like yesterday, I'm like that red hat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yesterday.
I mean, like at the podcast. I'm dying red. Fucking. I got the microphone in the theater. I'm laughing into the microphone.
So what was so funny?
To me, and I'm a sucker for this.
You laugh at Giamatti's silly faces.
No, it's not that. I'm a sucker for his the references to ancient Rome and him acting like people wouldn't get it or would get it, like not being able to read the room. All the references to that I find hilarious.
Right.
It's like Confederacy of Dunces. It's like it's just like. You don't think that's funny? Him saying all these kind of crazy references?
I guess I didn't. I just wasn't.
That's like my humor. Just like, he's the whole time. He's just like
somebody that's too smart for other people. That's his humor.
But also saying shit that no one else gets, and it's obvious no one else would get. You know what I mean?
My sense of humor is Paul Dano exercising demons, and then Daniel Day-Lewis going, hell of a goddamn show. That's my idea of humor. And then him going,
hell of a goddamn show. Well, that's funny too, but the whole, I don't know. I die laughing. I don't know. Comment if you laughed. I found it hilarious. I think Paul Giamatti's character is hilarious, and I was laughing for the first 10, 15 minutes.
Do you have a contact lens on your finger?
No, what?
What was on your finger just then?
I was just like a rapper or something.
Oh, I think you were just holding a contact lens.
You're doing anything except talk about the Holdovers.
I'm sorry.
What, do you not remember
I'm very sleepy. I'm sleepy. I never saw the film.
I want to talk about the movie.
All right. I saw The Holdovers.
You're like the kid in class who's teaching a book and he's trying to distract the teacher.
Yeah, and you're the kid in class who thinks it's hilarious if you reference fucking Russian literature, and I'm like, I don't get it. And you're like, isn't that hilarious? I guess I'm just telling you, I watched the film. It was not like Election and Sideways. I'm howling throughout. It's two of the funniest movies ever. And this one, I just didn't, no joke hit for me. I didn't get any of the jokes. I didn't laugh. No one in the theater laughed. We weren't laughing. No laugh.
No, I was alone.
I laughed more at, not Caesar. Who's the other one? Bonaparte. Napoleon. I laughed more at Napoleon than I did at Holdovers. Well, and not close, by the way.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, so fine. You didn't find it funny. I found it funny. Now, granted, I did not find it as funny as Election or Sideways. I just found the Paul Giamatti character funny. But I do recognize that the movie overall is a drama. It's not a satire. And it is very much in the...
It's a melodrama.
Yes. But here's my defense. Okay? It is sentimental.
Yeah.
It is sentimental, and it is a Christmas time.
Masterpiece.
Sorrow in this movie. The black woman.
The guy burned his children to death. Died. They died. The whole group died in the fire.
Not extreme, but the kid. His
you
dad,
don't know what it's like to have a child.
Yeah, bro, once you have a child,
as
man,
a dad, you don't know what love is, Raanan.
You don't understand what burned kids are. You probably see dead kids, you just laugh. But once you have a kid,
you can't possibly understand love. You're just incapable of understanding love.
She does all this. What? Did we fuck it up?
No, it's great.
She did all these things. The three characters are extremely sad. She does all these things for her son who dies in war. There's like a tragic irony there, right? Number two, the kid, his dad's fucking schizophrenic, and that's a very sad thing. And then his parents don't want to have anything to do with him. And Paul Giamatti has wasted his life stuck at the school. And there's a beautiful irony in the fact that he thinks it's his job to prepare kids for the real world. Meanwhile, he's not a part of the real world. He's stuck. And it makes the ending brilliant. When he finally leaves, you go, oh, he finally prepared himself for the real world. It's a beautiful irony there.
There's some things that I liked about the movie. I didn't hate the movie, but first of all, it's all perspective. The idea that he wasted his life is crazy. He didn't waste his life. He's been teaching children his whole life, and he's just too blind to notice that.
Well, that's
similar to It's a Wonderful Life, which someone else made the comparison. It's a Christmas movie where you realize maybe your life isn't so pathetic.
His life is pretty pathetic, though. He doesn't have anyone.
Yeah, it's pathetic, but the idea that he wasted his life, he didn't waste his life.
I mean, there's definitely things he wanted to do that he didn't do.
Sure, well, then we all wasted our
beautiful
lives.
that line, that part where he goes, he's wanting to write that thing in Europe, and he says, they call it a book. He calls it a monograph?
Yes.
And then the black woman goes, you can't even dream a full dream. That's a beautiful line.
Yeah, that's nice. I think
you can't even dream a full dream.
There was some nice things.
I thought she was good. I know it felt tropey, and I agree. The movie is tropey, but it's the best version of those tropes you can see.
Here's my criticisms of the film, because I have a few things that will be easier for me to articulate. Okay. One, the scene where he goes to see his dad, and it's this tragic thing. First of all, you just know his dad's going to be alive when he's like, we talked about this. The line is so cheesy to me when he tries to sneak out of the movie theater and Giamatti's like, where are you? We're going. He goes, I got to go see my dad. He goes, well, of course we can go to a cemetery.
But yeah, but then it obviously is revealed right away. I mean,
I guess
it's not like Sixth Sense. I mean, you know it in the next shot.
The scene where he goes and talks to his dad, it's like a much, much lesser version of Inside Llewyn Davis, which already did that scene and did it so perfectly. And it's not even that tragic of a thing. He tells us, for those who haven't seen it but are watching this for some reason, he tells this whole thing to his dad. Oh my God, Dad, we know his dad's in an asylum. He knows he's in an asylum. He tells this whole diatribe of what he's doing. And his dad goes, I think they're poisoning my food, which isn't even that sad of a line. I actually don't even think the kid would be that devastated. He'd be like, don't you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I mean, I
thought that was cheesy.
All, even inside the real origin of that is 5 Easy Pieces, where he talks to his father who's had like a stroke.
Right.
This movie is like such a 70s homage, the way they pick the same song playing over and over again, and it sounds like Cat Stevens, like Harold Ahmad, except they pick two songs that they play over.
They
and
use
over again.
Cat Stevens in it.
They do use Cat Stevens, but then
it's a little cliched also, I think.
Well, I have an issue with that just because that's in Rushmore. I feel like a movie uses a song, you can't use it again unless you're.
It's also in Almost Famous.
Oh, yeah. They really overuse that song.
I mean, it's beautiful in both those movies. And some movies are Silence of the Lambs and...
the Wind and Silence of the Lambs?
No. That's really funny, though. I'm down here, you stupid bitch. I listen to the wind. No, they use it, of course, in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, because that's one of my good talking points.
God, this is the most overused song. Jesus.
American Girl.
Oh, American
Tom Petty.
Girl.
Not The Wind, you fuckhead. American Girl is in both those films.
Yes.
And both great films, by the way. Both way better than this movie. So anyways, that scene, I just felt like it was melodramatic fucking hogwash. And there's things I liked about it. I liked being in the world. I did have a huge problem with the woman, which it's frustrating to me that the character I fucking hated and thought was awful is a black woman. I look like an asshole, racist piece of shit. But I was talking to your buddy, and when I was explaining the character, he's like, oh, an MN, a magical Negro.
Whoa.
A magical Negro character. This is a term, nice term, not mine. Don't bleep that, because it's going to sound like I'm saying the N-word.
Bleep it.
That's really funny. Don't bleep it. What are you taking a note for? No. Everyone's going to think I said the N-word. Anyways, this is a term in movie writing.
Yeah.
I thought we talked about this. First of all, I thought she looked and sounded so modern. She has a Boston accent 4 times. No one has a Boston accent in this movie except for this black woman, which, by the way, I grew up there. Almost no black people have Boston accents. It's like a funny phenomenon. You just never see a black guy who's like, yeah, I fucking been working real hard down at the factory. It's just they don't have them. This lady has like 3 or 4 words where she's like, well, you're a bartender. She doesn't seem like she's from the 70s. And also, your biggest pet peeve ever, the thing you hate the most, that you always talk about.
Bring it on.
This is a character that has 0 flaws to be found. An absolute perfectly
I
moral,
agree
sweet,
with you.
except she smokes cigarettes or whatever. She is a flawless moral
What do you mean
compass.
flawless?
No.
She's black.
I mean, we're getting shut down here.
Look, I agree with you. I don't think she's a great character.
Thank you.
Okay?
Terrible character.
I agree with you.
It's actually rude that they gave this woman who did a nice job.
She's great.
Other than the accent bullshit.
She's great. I agree with you. The accent part did make me wonder, but don't black people just kind of have an ageless accent? Aren't they cool in every decade?
Well, in the 70s, I think they're like, she. No.
Jesus Christ. Let's make fun of some other groups real quick to
No.
look balanced.
The Jews, they're just
stingy.
killing people indiscriminately.
Mexicans are
They work
lazy
too hard,
and
they're always
work too hard.
working.
They're lazy and work too hard.
Yeah.
And Palestinians are
Okay.
no. But so I agree with you on that.
I thought the character was
and I
terrible.
agree with you about a lot of the flaws of the movie. But here's my thing: I do think the movie was flawed. I also thought it was like extremely moving, and that's where it goes beyond the intellectual. I found it extremely moving, and even the scene where he goes to see the father, even though
We ain't got money.
the father goes, they put something in my food, is a bad line because it feels like your first draft. Like, what's a line someone crazy would say? And they put the first draft in there.
Exactly.
And you know it's coming, and it's fine if you know something's coming, but you want to have it beyond what you thought. You know what I mean? Which is why Inside Llewyn Davis does do it well, because he shits himself. You don't even realize it. That being said, it's still extremely moving to me that he's telling him about all these achievements. It's more about like, it's not about the father. To me, it's about the son wanting to tell these achievements to his father, even though knowing. I still was moved by that. I don't know. And I'm still moved by like Paul Giamatti in the movie. That's the thing. It's like very flawed and sentimental, but sometimes I think the sentimentality makes him more moving in a weird way.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, nothing was working for me. I said it to Matt about an hour and 15 minutes in the movie. I was like, I got to tell you, nothing's hitting me. I wasn't buying in. I didn't feel overly sentimental. I thought that like, it was just sort of cliched. I was frustrated. Matt and I were both frustrated that like, well, I thought there's going to be several characters there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they all just leave. Like, a guy just took him in the helicopter. That was the saddest part. That part was sad, was that they couldn't get a hold of his mother and he had to stay. That everyone was going on this thing.
To me, like,
that was heartbreaking to me.
To me, like the whole movie, and this is where I think it's similar to Manchester by the Sea thematically, is that it's about suffering people in a life that's not fair, and then all you have is like basically bonding with other suffering people.
Now this is
and that's what's at the core of the movie.
Now this is an interesting thing because you also think Rocky sucks,
right?
But that's Rocky to me. It's
right.
Very similar. Holiday, Thanksgiving. They're trying to make the Thanksgiving thing, and it's just these four losers. And it's such a beautiful character study of these four losers with a great score and such a compelling movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
but you
think
hate
it's,
that.
I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't think Rocky's terrible. I just don't think it's fucking. Did it win Best Picture?
Of course, it won Best Picture.
But you know what I mean. But like, I don't think
I
like.
blow you.
I think this has like some real suffering and what it has is humanism. You see people suffering and you see no one's really that bad of a person. They're suffering. And there's little moments that are beautiful. When the kid takes the other kid's glove and then he puts that other glove in the water and you watch that glove go down that's just a beautiful image to me. That image makes me want to cry.
I don't know. It just didn't.
The Korean kid pissing the bed, it's just like, I don't know, it moves me.
Yeah, none of it. I wasn't buying any of it. It just wasn't hitting me. And I'm a sentimental guy. I'm raw with emotions with the baby and the business. But it just felt melodramatic that he was had pissed himself and they were just like, screw you, Asian guy. And he was like, boo. And then he's just crying. It just felt very like, I miss my mom. I'm sad. And then the guy, none of it worked for me.
It
and
felt
the
very
glove
human.
going up the street just felt like a Hallmark movie to me.
I thought that was a moment of like real sad pain. I didn't see that Hallmark. That's the thing. It's
Sad
like,
Alexander Payne.
I think the Hallmark stuff hides the fact that there's a real sense of life, horrible suffering underneath it. I think the Hallmark thing is almost the genre, but the story itself, there is tropes, but there is some real fucking pain in the movie. The idea that Paul Giamatti is just stuck there for years, afraid to go out in the world, like these, and he is old, and the sentimentality sometimes actually makes it more like when that woman like rejects him, you know.
Yeah.
That scene, that shot of her like with the guy at the door, it's a heartbreaking shot. And it's a little more heartbreaking in this movie because this movie is sentimental. You kind of assume he is going to get with her. So
I thought he was going to get with the black woman. It actually felt like they were a better fit.
Yeah,
suited.
there was some tension there too.
Yeah, it felt like that was going to be something. I also thought the kid wasn't great. There was moments later he was good. I thought he was actually kind of bad and goofy. I thought there was moments, Giamatti, who I think is great, was over the top when they're first driving the car, like yelling at each other. I thought it was just like, this feels silly. It felt sketchy for a moment.
I love Paul Giamatti. I thought he was amazing in it.
Yeah, I thought he was okay.
I just think,
he's like running in a way that was like stupid.
It's just like I don't know, something about Paul Giamatti is like, he is an actor, but he's also an ugly man. And you feel the pain.
I hope to work with him someday.
Well, you just feel the pain of like even though he's playing a character, like there's a realness to his, you know what I mean?
Well, I also felt like that the whole thing of like, most people don't like you and this thing, I didn't.
Kids, because he resents the
No,
kids.
but they say the staff hates him too. They say that.
The teachers, not the
teachers, yeah.
I think the under things
So the
like
teachers hate him.
Yeah, the teachers hate him.
So
But he's nice to the black woman because he sees her as like underprivileged.
I guess, but he's so maybe that's the answer.
Yeah.
He just hates it. Like again, we go back to Rushmore.
He hates these like rich kids, and he resents them, and that resentment is kind of like
And the teachers he hates. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
and
hates the school
yeah.
or whatever because it didn't work out. But I don't know. It just felt like there was. I never saw him being this like piece of shit.
I mean,
he always seemed like a pretty empathetic guy to me.
I agree with you in the sense
Like he's like, you be nice to her. She lost her son.
The movie does not have the edge of his earlier movies.
Well, that's the main issue.
The movie does not have
I
the
kept
edge.
waiting for there to be edge, and there was
no edge.
zero edge whatsoever, including this big main character that had no flaws whatsoever.
There is no edge to the movie. Deep down, everyone is kind of good.
Exactly. Whereas other movies, deep down, everyone is kind of bad. And that's what makes him so
But
great.
I guess
that's my beef. Is
I
it's so
agree.
far from what makes him great. And I think it would be, if it was just a random guy I never heard of, a first-time out director, whatever, I wouldn't have been so disappointed because this guy, and this is the problem with being such a brilliant artist like myself, is when you make such great things, I feel like no one laughs, so it's just awkward. But like when you make great things this great, when you make something that is a little melodramatic and the characters aren't flawed, I have a fucking problem
I
with
agree
it.
with you, except I get maybe it's still overall these stories about people are so rare and far between movies like this that I'm still like just appreciate a movie even like this just because it's not about a fucking Blue Beetle bullshit or whatever the fuck.
Blue
like,
Beetle looks awful.
Just but I will say like I saw it more as Alexander Payne kind of softening himself and making a different type of movie, almost like a Christmas Dead Poet Society movie. It
feels very much like Dead Poet Society, very much like Rushmore, very much like Good Will Hunting. It's got a lot of those things.
It is using those tropes of other movies. It's very much a movie, but I do think there's a sadness in it that is pretty like more like that Alexander Payne sadness of life's like not well lived. I do think there is that injected in it, which I actually think there is predictability in the movie, and I think that's ultimately the problem.
Very predictable.
Ultimately, the problem with the movie is that you know they're all going to get along, and you know that his heart's going to get melted. You know all that stuff. So there is predictability. Though I will say the ending is actually a bit of, even though the movie goes on too long, I'd say the ending where he gets fired and he drives away was a bit of a surprise. I didn't see that coming, you know? And I actually thought that was beautiful. I mean, here he is wanting to prepare kids, and the ending is him finally leaving into the real world. There's a beautiful irony there. And here's an example of where the hallmarkiness kind of hides some real, more of a complex world. There's this hallmarky trope at the end where before he drives down that road, he takes the bottle that he stole from...
Yes.
You know, that guy, which is a very Dead Poet, like, fuck the, you know.
And a little bit like Sideways
Yeah,
also.
but he's also still a drunk. Like, there's like he's driving drunk, like, you know what I mean? So there is...
Wait, is he driving drunk? He spits it out and then drives away.
Oh, did he spit it out?
Yeah.
Well, I take it all back.
That was very significant, wasn't it? He takes a big sip and spits it on the ground.
Oh.
And drives away.
Fuck. All right, so it is Hallmark.
Yeah.
But I still...
I
Wait,
mean,
does he?
Yeah. That's the last
fuck.
thing.
He spits it out.
He
doesn't
spits it. He takes like this really expensive bottle and spits it on the ground and then drives away.
I guess I assume he's still going to drink more of it. Is he not?
I don't know. There's no more footage. I'm not really sure. It's your movie.
Well,
I don't know.
Embarrassing. I've really been.
I mean, you can check the plot. Didn't you just read the plot? You reread it. I did want to read a criticism that I read that I actually.
Either way, I think that ending's beautiful. Him leaving. I don't know.
Him spitting the alcohol on the ground. Hold on. Yeah. Raanan leaves the school. He stops his car, takes a drink from a bottle of fine cognac he stole from the school's headmaster before spitting it out and driving away. He spits it out.
You didn't just add that on Wikipedia?
I did. I cracked in there because I knew we'd have this.
All right,
discussion.
take that back. Can we edit that part out?
Wait, here's a good. This I thought was a good.
I'm getting everything wrong. The killer. I got this part wrong. Am I losing my edge? I'm like the killer. I'm losing my edge as a critic.
Well, one person was mad about the Asian, which was
The Asian?
yeah, because.
What Asian?
The Asian kid. You don't even remember him.
Oh.
His Chang said that somehow the movie's most Oh wait, no, this is different. Criticized the film's depiction of racist taunts against one of the film's students, Yi Jun Park, writing his sole narrative function really is to awaken Angus' sympathies, but in reducing Yi Jun to such an abused prop. Fuck, why did I even read that?
I don't think that's true. I don't think he's used as that. I mean,
he's barely in the movie, and I thought he stunk too. I thought the kids all stunk
Asian
basically.
Kid, you got like the Mormon kid.
But this is the part I wanted to read. The movie was flat, phony, painfully diagrammatic movie masquerading as a compassionate, humane one. That's how I feel. I'm so stupid.
That's
I can't
how you feel,
write
that word that neither of us know.
I can't write. I can't articulate. I'm not a critic. I'm an actor.
That's
damn
like
it.
that. Diagrammatic.
But no, flat, phony, and painful, masquerading as compassionate and humane. That's how I felt.
You
It
really
felt
feel that?
flat. I mean, not exactly, obviously, but it fell flat to me for so much. There's things I liked, and I didn't hate it. I did enjoy being in the world.
Yeah.
I like being in an empty
The
school.
music's beautiful. The shots are beautiful.
But I thought they were okay. I didn't think they were that spectacular. I mean, I love New England, obviously. I'm a New England winter
There's shots
guy.
in there that are like a shot where the black woman at the beginning of the kitchen is like, all right, let's wrap it. Like she's like rushing people, and then she looks out the window and sees the snow in the window, and the music starts playing. It's like she's so rushing to get somewhere, and then she looks out the window and realizes she has nothing waiting for her. I thought that's a beautiful little moment.
But
the
she
glove
did. But this is the thing. Then I didn't understand this. Then they drive to Boston, and she's got a big, happy family. She can go see. I'm like, why wasn't she up there? I don't get it. That was such a weird, like, plot hole to me, because it felt like she was a sad character, just resigned. Is that the word? Stuck, sitting there,
resigned works.
sitting there at this thing, and then she gets a ride, and she's like, "Oh, great! I'll go see my sister. We have a loving relationship, and I have a big happy family up there."
Go see her sister.
And she's like, "Go up there." Why wouldn't I? Don't get it.
Christmas.
She actually has a really nice family.
Because she's depressed. She doesn't want to do anything.
But then she does, and she goes up there.
Well,
she doesn't even
finally gets the courage. You don't want to see a pregnant
I
woman.
guess.
You don't want to see a pregnant sister when
Well,
you
as
fucking,
a dad, you don't understand children. I was moved by that. And this is another thing. If my child died, I wouldn't want my sibling to have a child and then name him the same name.
I know, it's bad
That was
luck,
weird
right?
to me. I don't know about bad luck, but I'm like, but then nice. So what's he supposed to be? My son?
What's the
Why'd
middle
you
name,
take
right?
my
You can
name?
do middle name.
I thought it was the same name. I thought she was like, we named him Frank or whatever the
We
name
really
is.
got to do these podcasts right after we see the movies.
I think so. I think
like,
that's
I
what
don't
happened.
remember.
But
I thought it was the middle name.
Oh, she said. I think she said I named him Bob or the kid's name. But I forget the name.
Bob. So then every time she sees him,
Back to fine again.
I will say the big plot hole is that the kid never tries to pursue the hottest, like that really hot, probably 14-year-old in
was
the party.
trying, though.
But he like gives up after that.
Well, he couldn't get a number. Back then, he didn't have numbers. There was no like missed opportunities or whatever it's
He
called.
must have like wanted to. Is she that
Can
young?
we bleep this? She's a high school kid. No, she's an adult in real life.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, she's
I'm not,
cute.
I'm not saying to fuck her. I'm just saying she's attractive. You know.
Yeah, she's cute, and he was trying. She was looking down the shirt. That was fun. It also felt, it's very similar to The Last Detail. Jack Nicholson movie, like one last road trip with the kid. We're going to show him.
The whole movie, the 70s.
It's cliched and melodramatic. Yeah.
The whole movie, the 70s homage, which I like. I really like how it's a Hal Ashby 70s, and specifically Hal Ashby 70s homage. And it does that like every movie from the 70s just plays the same folk song over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Midnight Cowboy and Fat City.
That's in the 60s. But.
And, well, you know what I'm saying, but that's basically 70s.
Yeah, sure.
69. But it had that 70s feel. I don't know. I mean, I agree with all these things. It is tropey. It is sentimental. But I think there's real pain in the movie and there's real bonding that I found meaningful.
You know what the movie needed? Was real pain. Some 1999 Alexander Payne. I wish he had punched it up or punched it down and made it a little
I didn't know where that wordplay was
grittier. I wish it was a little grittier, a little nastier, a little bit more.
I
mean, I always talk about Election, where it's like it just seems like a regular high school movie, and then there's this guy saying her pussy gets so wet.
I know.
There was no her pussy gets so
his
wet.
Other movies aren't sentimental at all.
What do you mean?
His other movies, Alexander Payne, they're not sentimental.
But there's sentimentality in there, and it's more moving because it feels so real.
Tougher, yeah. I mean, he's grown.
I mean, The End of Sideways is quite sentimental, is it not?
I don't know sentimental. I mean, sentimental I see it as a negative thing, like you're manipulating people's emotions.
I guess.
It's
poignant. It's very extremely poignant.
Yeah.
I just wish there was more edge.
I think Alexander Payne is growing, and he's decided to make not as good movie. But it's still really good. I still think it's powerful. I think there's images in it that are really powerful. It stuck with me. It resonated. I do agree. I agree with all of the things you're saying, but it's very hard for me to be moved by a movie, and I found myself moved by that movie. You know what it is? I think I really found myself moved by Paul Giamatti. I felt such pain for him. And I really felt really bad. That's a rare thing for movies for me. So that kind of redeems the flaws just because I felt this thing that stuck with me, which is very rare. And one of the reasons it stuck with me is because it's a human movie about lives, hurt and damaged, and people really stuck. They're stuck and they're lonely and they're stuck. And I got moved by that. I think the value of that, the currency of that movie is so high because what else is there to see in theaters? Everything, even the movies that are human beings are epics. You know what I mean? So it's so rare to see a movie like this.
I guess. So that part's nice. If we're going to look at a grander scale, there's less movies like this. This is the kind of movie I want more of. I just wish it was better executed. And I also do feel like Alexander Payne, who was fine being completely politically incorrect, it does bother me that there's like a character. The black woman is, of course, completely flawless, which is like, oh, they got to him too. Great line in JFK. They'll get to you too. By the way, I just listened to Oliver Stone on Bill Maher's podcast. He's a fucking moron.
I've been telling you that for years. He's
a total moron.
He is a complete black and white, insane,
You got to hear him. It's crazy.
He's awful.
He's like a conspiracy theorist on everything except Putin. He thinks Putin is he's friends with Putin. He thinks he's the best guy.
Yeah.
He thinks Putin is a good guy, and he's he loves every single conspiracy theory. He doesn't think Biden won the election and all these crazy conspiracy theories, but he thinks all the people that Putin has killed, he's like, no, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, which is hilarious.
Isn't that hilarious?
Those are the real conspiracies with Putin. Those are actual, all conspiracy theories in Russia are correct. It's the reverse of America. He did probably blow up that building that killed a bunch of Russians that he blamed on the Chechens. He did assassinate all these people. No, Oliver Stone is a fucking dumbass. I've said that for years. Him and Michael Moore should fucking have the most retarded baby in the universe.
Whoa!
But I hate Oliver Stone. He's just fucking. He's always been a simplistic idiot.
I like some of his films.
I don't know.
You hate him.
Yeah, I hate him.
JFK rules.
Platoon
JFK is
stupid.
the fucking best.
Willem Dafoe getting shot 4,000 times.
That,
you get it? It's a Jesus image. Do you get it?
Ridiculous.
In your face, piece of shit.
The bad guy has a scar, and he talks get out of here. I'm a bad guy.
He comes off as such a lefty Oliver Stone, but it's literally Christian level good versus evil simplicity. You know?
Right. Well, JFK fucking rules, and Platoon has some great moments.
JFK.
Nixon's fun. I love Nixon. And I like W.
Talk Raider is good. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Talk Raider is very good.
Yeah, he's good. And Midnight Express, he didn't direct, but you know.
Natural Born Killers, a horrible, soulless,
Yeah, I didn't love that movie.
disgusting movie. That's one of the few movies I saw where I'm like, the person who made this is not well.
What else did he do? Any Given Sunday? I don't really know that movie too well.
But I don't know. Holdovers, I was moved. What can I say? I was moved. It moved my heart.
You were moved, yeah. I don't know.
You have a heart of stone? I don't. I don't know. I mean, what can we say?
No, I'm moved. I mean, to compare it to Manchester by the Sea is really a fucking abortion of justice. I mean, that's really insane.
I mean, the theme is the same, and it's one of the, to me, the highest theme in movies. People who've experienced a lot of sadness and sorrow kind of holding on to each other.
Well, you're moved by this theme. Just like I'm moved by, parental relationships or whatever. So
almost winning against black guys. Yeah.
Yeah, no, people that are losers and perceived as losers rising up for at least a moment to show that I'm not just another bum from the neighborhood. You should try it sometime.
The inspirational movie hits you more, which is funny because this is kind of an inspirational movie, but I'm more of the.
But I'm saying this is this is the fundamental issue we're having with Rocky now is that you're saying, oh, it's a inspirational movie. I'm saying it's the same as this movie that you love. Like you see Rocky as like, oh, a guy that's not good at boxing, he almost wins a fight. I'm telling you, it's a character study of these four losers, pathetic people who are trying just once to show that maybe they're not that pathetic. Like Burt Young's character in Rocky should be your favorite character ever.
I guess ultimately to me, Rocky, he is like, I know he doesn't win.
How well do you know the movie?
He basically wins. He doesn't get beat up. He doesn't he basically at the end wins and gets the girl. I don't know.
Yeah, but isn't that this fucking silly movie?
No, he's alone. He's old. He's just going to
I guess, but he's going out to be somebody or whatever.
What I'm saying.
But the point is, you keep talking about the ending of Rocky. He gets the girl, whatever.
But that's what I'm saying about this movie. It's not as happy.
He gets the loser girl. He's still a loser with a loser. Now, the sequels are a fucking abomination, of course.
It's not as the ending is not. I mean, yes, he does sacrifice himself. He does grow, but he's still old and alone. And then just go. I don't know. To me, it's more about like. To me, it's more about acceptance and becoming something. And Rocky, to me, is still ultimately a fairy tale at its core. Though I do think there is really good stuff in Rocky. But I think ultimately what it's promoting is a fairy tale.
I suppose so. You know? I mean, based on a true story.
What, it is?
Yeah.
Did the guy...
Chuck Wagner, what the hell's the guy's name? Chuck whatever. I mean, he fought Ali and went the distance.
Oh, about Ali? I have no idea.
Yeah. But anyways,
that's
you didn't pick up that Apollo Creed is Ali.
No, I had no idea. Really?
Yeah.
Is that what everyone knows?
I mean, he's literally like doing rhymes and poetry. He's like, be a thinker, not a stinker. I mean, he's like totally. He's like he literally says that. He's like doing. It's got to be a thriller and a chiller when I get my hands on the gorilla in Manila.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, he's a champion, fast-talking.
It's been like 40 years since I've seen Rocky.
Yeah, you don't know it well enough. That's what you need to see. It's so drab and beautiful. It feels like this should be like one of your favorite movies.
I'll give it another watch.
Nothing happens for like an hour and a half.
We'll do Rocky for the next
Rocky
one.
Raging Bull.
Rocky Raging Bull.
That'd be huge. People have seen those.
Let's do those.
It'll get 15,000 more views than this. I guarantee it.
Have we talked about the fact that like Muhammad Ali, it's so unfair that he's like the greatest boxer ever and this amazing wordsmith. And then all the other boxers are just like can't talk much. And then he's just talking in circles around them. It's just crazy.
Well, if you want to talk unfair, the Frazier Ali is really unfair that he portrayed. Well, first of all, Ali.
Not to say all boxers.
Ali his parents were like, what do you call it? What do you call a teacher in college? I'm really not smart. His parents were like professors. They're like teachers.
Yeah.
He's like actually, he was from like Louisville,
Kentucky.
Yeah,
like me.
he's from like he had relative money for a black man, and what he did to Joe Frazier is really unfair and
like
horrible.
Kind of racist.
He called him an Uncle Tom. He did this whole Uncle Tom thing, and Ali certainly is no Uncle Tom, but he was a lighter-skinned, more handsome guy who grew up with a little more money, was much better educated. Joe Frazier is like a Philadelphia projects kid who couldn't read for like a long time. I know, it's
tough. They're
had much darker skin, and he called him an ape and a gorilla, and he called him, he kept talking about how dumb he was, and he would do this and make his, it's horrible. He would push his nose in and be like, I'm going to kill the gorilla, and all this stuff, while also calling him an Uncle Tom. And then Joe Frazier was like devastated. His children were getting called an Uncle Tom and everything. And it's so fascinating because
Muhammad Ali, a horrible person?
What he did to Joe Frazier was pretty horrible.
Wow.
But also what he did for civil rights and the war and all that stuff. I mean, he had hardcore beliefs that he stood up for and all that good stuff. And but yeah,
he refused
obviously
to go to war and went to jail for like a year, right?
Yeah, I don't know if jail he went to, but he couldn't fight. He lost the best years of his career. That's why, I think
I would have done that too over fighting in Vietnam. Though,
you talk about compelling.
Yeah.
Now, how about this? Now, you're not a sports guy. Muhammad Ali is the undisputed champion of the world. No one can beat him. He's the greatest. Gets stripped of his crowns because he refuses to go to war and, whatever, cites religion, whatever. Loses his title, loses his best years, gets reinstated. While he was gone, this guy, Joe Frazier, is knocking everybody out, killing everybody. Now Ali comes back. And they were friends, by the way.
Yeah.
Frazier really helped Ali out monetarily during that time, was a really good friend to him. Then he turned on him and starts calling him all this stuff. Now, March 8th, 71, Madison Square Garden, they're fighting for the title. Two undefeated champions. Ali didn't lose the title. He was stripped of the title.
Right.
Now he's fighting the new guy. What a night.
And he wins, right?
Who wins?
Ali.
Incorrect.
Really? Frazier?
He's calling him a piece of shit and all this stuff, and Joe Frazier fucking knocked his ass
When it
out.
comes to historical sports, I'm really like the Nate Bargatze joke. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm like, who won?
By the way, I said knocked him out. I'm going to get 500 people. He knocked him down and won by decision.
I guess what I'm saying is like Joe Frazier probably wasn't like great with words the way Ali was, right?
No, I mean, I told you he was like illiterate until he was whatever age.
It sucks that Ali's like, I'll put you here, and he's rhyming and doing poetry, and then Frazier's like, just give me a second. Let me, you know what I mean? It's like tough. It's like if Don Rickles was a boxer.
There's some great Ali stories, but also you ever hear Frazier years later? This is like in like the 90s. He's like, yeah, he won 2 out of the 3 fights, but look at him now. You tell me who won those fights. That's pretty good. But yeah, he never, Frazier never got over it. It was really devastating. But
no, Mike Tyson's good with words.
I guess. He said he wanted to eat his children. That was like one of his things.
I know, but
he's like, I'm going to eat his children.
That's poetic. There's imagery. It's actually really funny the way he talks, Mike Tyson, because he has violent imagery, but then it gets like emotional at the end. He's like, I want to stomp on his children and eat them and poop them over his face so he knows my pain. Like it gets very like emotional at the end.
No,
hey, I do that voice for I'm really good. For some reason, I can really capture that voice.
That Tyson?
Yeah, the fellow lisper. My list isn't that bad, though, right?
As bad as Tyson's? I don't know. He just has a higher voice.
I have a list like Tyson. I'm from Louisville, like Muhammad Ali.
Maybe you're a tough guy.
Is there a connection between me and George Frazier?
George Frazier? George Foreman?
George Foreman.
You're both fucking idiots.
I like grills.
Yeah.
I had an invention for a grill once. I'm
What
like
is it?
every boxer. There's a similar thing. But
anyways, Ali, yeah, great
all right, so
fighter.
all right, I'll check it out. One of the first time I ever saw you in New York, you were brought up to the song "Eye of the Tiger." That's from that movie, right?
Not Rocky 1.
Oh, what's it from?
It's from Rocky 3.
And you started singing.
No, the first one has like a score, a real score.
Right, no, I know. It's it's like yeah.
Gonna fly now.
That's pretty good. First movie to believe, one of the first movies to use Steadicam. Correct?
Second movie, Bound for Glory is the first one.
Oh, the Willie Nelson movie.
Hi, folks.
They make such a big deal out of Shining using Steadicam, but Shining was at least a couple years later than all
Shining
those.
was 80, yeah.
So it's funny that they make such a big thing out of it, you know?
Also, Rocky's just such a beautiful, lasting. Like, you go to the Museum of Art, it's just everyone's running up the stairs, which we try to do this. This is a funny bit.
That's the Museum of Art?
Yeah. It's the Philadelphia Art Museum. But this is such a funny idea to me. It's like, you just see all these people running up the stairs and you picture them going, oh, we got a rush coming. No. Just taking
Just
photos.
people who don't care about
Nobody's
art
walking in
that
the
love
museum.
Rocky.
Everyone's just running around. Very funny. It's a beautiful film. It's just great. And, but Holdovers, I didn't hate it.
You switched it to
I like the Holdovers. It's okay.
I got moved, man. I got moved, and it stuck with me. And being trapped at school, finally leaving at the end. This is the eye I look at, whatever. This is the eye I look at. I don't know. I got moved by it, and I just wish there was more.
Those callbacky things. And by
There's
the
some
way,
bad callbacks.
this is the.
There's some bad. There was a couple. You know what they did in this, which I knew you would hate, which I do hate too. When
You hate a lot of things about this movie you love.
I know. When you throw a line back at someone that they said earlier.
I know.
We never do that in real life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never like you said something to me like 2 years ago, then I say it to you meaningfully.
Right. Yeah, I just felt it just felt not up to snuff for Payne, and it's somebody that has to suffer from, and as many other artists like this, Chappelle and De Niro and whoever else. It's just not nearly as good as his best stuff, which is disappointing.
But the pain of Paul Giamatti, that character, is like, to me, meant more to me than anything Killers of the Flower Moon, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I mean? It's also rare. Like, in the 90s, you had movies like this all the time. $1 million projects that were like somewhat had a decent budget, but like not like a giant movie. You don't have a movie in that level. Either it's like an art film that's like cost 12 cents.
Right, but you're talking about a different thing. Like, am I grateful this movie got made? Yes, that's great. I wish there was more movies like this. I talk about this all the time. Like, I miss this kind of movie. That doesn't mean this movie's good. Like, I hope there's more movies like this. Fantastic. But I'd like it to be better executed. I'd like to have characters with flaws.
To me, it's all, well, the other characters have flaws. To me, it's all relative. There's so few of these movies, the currency of it does go up.
I suppose so.
You know?
Yes. I mean, I'm happy. I'm excited about the new Yorgos, which you can't. We still haven't done a Yorgos episode.
I want to see that.
There's one guy that comments on everything. Like, where the fuck's the Yorgos episode?
It's so crazy to see Rami in it. It's just crazy.
I know. And Gerard. There's two. It takes from it that like this complete cinematic fucking auteur masterpiece guy. The only fucking great filmmaker left is using like our peers. You're like, Jesus.
Yeah, see Anatomy of a Fall. It's incredible. I mean, it's a beautiful movie, very intricate. You got to see it, man. I'm
dying. I'll see it. These people aren't going to see this fucking film.
But anyway, see me in Philly. Should we do plugs?
Let's do plugs. I'm only here for your plugs.
See me in Philly.
Hair plugs.
I guess
hair
Wednesday.
Plugs. What movie? Hair plugs. Hair plugs.
Either
Cable Guy.
That
movie rules.
I was gonna say either one of the vacation movies or Cable Guy or Dumb and Dumber.
You weren't gonna say Cable Guy. Stop it.
I see me in Philly Wednesday, which will be tomorrow. I mean, this comes out tomorrow, so see me Wednesday in Philly. Get tickets. RaananHirschberg.com or go to my Instagram, Raanan Comedy, Raanan. Also, Grove 34 in Astoria. The next day, Seattle, Club Comedy. I'm going to be there December 7th through 9th. You can get tickets now, and you can also see me at Magoobies on Christmas Eve.
Seriously?
It's like a Jewish show. Yeah.
Hope you don't bomb.
And then also, some other shit. Mohegan Sun.
All right, that's enough. Okay, Jesus Christ. Go to the website.
Go to the website.
You can't just do all your dates. It's insane. All right, I'm doing Grove 34 Friday. I'm pretty sure. Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. I'm doing Grove 34 Friday and Tacoma, January 11th through the 13th. Poughkeepsie, January 19th through 20. I'm off the road for a bit. Subscribe. Tell some friends about this. You got to spread the word. We got the best podcast go. Best movie podcast go. Best movie podcast with two white men podcasting with glasses.
Best movie podcast was Two Neighbors. Probably. It's got to be that.
All time.
Right? All time.
Easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, spread the word, tell a friend, subscribe, and check out our specials. We have new specials out. Yours isn't out.
Mine isn't out. It's coming out in like February.
I haven't slept in days. I literally was like, wait, have you shot your special? Is it out? It's not your fault. It's not my fault. I've slept 30 minutes in 6 months. I legitimately, when you were doing the dates, I was like, oh, he's going to shoot a special. He's ramping up the new special. Why did I miss your special? Vegas.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I can't remember. I was
it's
out
tough
of
because
town.
you're not going to watch it. You don't watch stuff.
I'll watch yours.
Oh, really?
Promise. Boy Scout.
All right. Thanks so much. And
cut.
Get action.
Joe likes Scorsese and Raanan is Jewy. It's Joe and Raanan Talk Movies.